Hi, guys. Hey, guys. This is Anthony Rogers,
Morgan Rogers.
and we are starting our first entry to our vlog.
Why are we doing a vlog?
We are doing.
Why would anyone do a vlog?
Well, the reason why we're doing a vlog is to share our experience and our opinions on topics from things that we find interesting, and also feel that there may not be a lot of information on, and I would say a lot of real information. I mean, like, not
Why would anybody care about what we have to think?
because we're awesome.
No.
um,
Because we have been
we've been
living
married.
it.
We've been married for a very long time. No, we have been living a lot of this, and a lot
What
of.
have we been living?
What are you doing?
I'm trying to direct the conversation.
We've been living life, man. We've been living life. So, for those who don't know, we are a blended family.
Blended.
Not only are we black and white, like very literally, we also have a son who is Morgan's son first. Like it was her son before he was my son, which makes me a stepfather. But I don't really like that term, and we'll get more into that later. You know, come on, like you want to say something about that? I'm gonna talk the whole time.
So we met about 4 years ago?
Yep, 4 years ago
At church.
at church. Well, I mean at a Bible study,
Okay.
and
We dated for, I don't know, like
4 years, maybe 3 years. We dated for.
we
3
dated
years.
for not even a year, and we got
Oh,
engaged.
you're talking about then. I thought you were talking about like we've been dating for 3 years. Sorry,
We got married,
we did get married.
so we stopped dating.
It's always a
And we
date.
got married in June of 2015,
Mhm.
and so we've been married for 2 years.
Yes,
So that's
2 years and almost a half. I've counted yesterday. But yeah,
Okay.
so that's a little bit of a background about us. I am a worship pastor by profession, and
I'm a lawyer. Call me.
so okay, we will put that information in at the end. If you are a criminal or have been accused of a crime,
Yeah.
it would definitely will take your contact information. She's one of the best lawyers in Houston right now. So, but yeah, so we're both Christians. We believe in Jesus, and we take a lot of that experience into the foundation of not only our relationship, but also in just how we interact with each other, which I think is a positive thing. And a lot of times that gets real tricky, but we try to do our best in adding or doing that with parenting and everything else. So we're gonna walk through a bunch of questions in these vlogs. We're gonna try to do it, if not every Monday, at least 1 or 2 Mondays out of the week.
Why is that? Why would we pick Monday?
Monday is the only day that I'm free. No, no. Monday is one. Well, I mean,
It's because he's free.
I'm not necessarily free. It's just, it's my Sabbath, so I chill most of the time and kind of just, reflect. And now we're actually both kind of like a little less stressed to be able to do stuff like this. I think it's been an idea for a while that we've been wanting to do this. So I'm actually happy that we get to do that. You may see some guest appearances from Jaden, a cat, Walter, who's our dog, WALT''R. But yeah, so this is going to be kind of brief. We just want to do a brief introduction. But a lot of times what we're going to do is try to tackle some main themes, some main questions and stuff like that, and just add our opinions to it. So one of the questions that we are going to ask today, and I'm asking this to my wife today, how did it feel having been a single parent for 5 years and having to adjust to add another player to the equation? So you're a parent. How did it feel adding me to the equation? Like, what were your thoughts? Like, let's start from dating up until, like, I guess now. What do you think? Maybe.
Okay.
All right, let's go there.
So I had been a single mom for
Bagheera.
5 years. And I was used to doing everything on my own. I wasn't comfortable really having anybody do anything for me. But also, like most moms, I didn't want to have anyone new around my son unless I knew that it was going to be. Are you feeling yourself?
My back hurts.
Unless it was going to be for real, forever, for good. And so yeah, I think that's normal. I think people don't really want to have just anybody around their children.
Unless they're like desperate for a man. And they don't really care about their kids. Anyway, continue.
so okay, what about it?
What? I'm just saying, sometimes there's people that don't necessarily, I mean, they're more concerned about being with someone than being, like, making sure their kids are okay with them. Not that I know a lot about that, but.
Okay. Well, that's what I wasn't like.
Okay. Cool.
So, I don't know. When we met, I kind of slowly. Well, you had already known Jaden. You knew Jay from church, so you taught him how to play piano.
Oh, you're talking about that? Yeah. Well, I mean, I had seen him. Like the first time I met him was at Terrence's and at the Bible study, and I don't like. It was real brief. Like I thought Lucas was your son
because he was white.
Because he was white. Yes, I saw him and I was like, who's this little black kid running around? I didn't know who's. I think it was like.
You thought he was black? You didn't think he was white?
No, I mean I thought he may have some mixture too. But I mean, who was there? There was like there was a mixed girl, not mixed girl there. There was like a lighter skinned black girl there, and so I thought that maybe he was like her. I don't know, nephew.
Okay.
Or something.
Well, you met him.
But I did meet him first, essentially, like
and
for real.
You were around him for a while before we even started dating.
That sounds weird.
For like 4 months.
Clarify.
Every Sunday because we were starting a church service.
Right.
So you were around him for several months before we even started dating. And then
how did you feel about like our interaction together, like from what you could see?
Jay's?
Yeah.
It was so cute. Because you were teaching him how to play piano and you took an interest in, you just liked him as just who his little person was.
Yeah.
And so that's obviously super important. I cared about having someone in his life that wanted to be in his life, not just because they wanted to be in my life, but because they could see who he was and that he was an awesome child and that for him to love you, that would be an amazing thing. And so when I saw that obviously provided some comfort, I guess.
Yes, that's great. And then you were right about your decision because that was awesome. No, I'm just kidding.
But I included Jaden in the decision.
That's true. For
us to even start dating. And I don't mean that in like a weird way. I didn't like ask his permission for us to date. Yeah. But I told him that, we were friends and asked him what he would think if we did become boyfriend and girlfriend, that we weren't right now, but what would he think if that were to happen? And he was super excited about it. And it was actually him that kind of put the idea forth about you being his father, not just dating. But he said that he wanted a dad that loved God. And so I almost cried. And so, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's been probably single-handedly one of the greatest experiences that I've had. Jay's, for anybody who knows Jaden, you know that he's like a super insightful, inquisitive kid, very smart. I'm not just saying that because he's our son, but he's he was all that, and he was very wanting to know things and stuff whenever I first met him. So we kind of had like a natural chemistry. Our birthdays are like a day apart and stuff like that. So we had a lot of things to talk about, but it was cool. It was cool. So what advice would you give to any, either single mothers right now or mothers that, may have been in relationships and are worried about their children? Like what would be some good Christian advice that you would give to some mothers out there that may be in similar situations?
To seek God first in the decision. I know that's like a basic kind of Christian answer, but I think every time that I sought God in my other relationships, I kind of ignored the response I got because I felt like God doesn't want my son to not have a father in his life. So, and this relationship I'm in, he's a Christian guy. Like, why shouldn't I be with him? But if I had a feeling that it probably wasn't a good situation, not because that person was a bad person, but just because we weren't necessarily, I knew that we weren't really supposed to be together, not to force it. And so before we even started dating, I asked you to pray about whether or not we should be together.
Yep.
One, because I knew that he had a strong relationship with God. So first, I would recommend being with someone that has a strong relationship with God and that cares about their relationship with God over anything else, whether that's being in a relationship with you or whatever decisions that they make, because obviously people can manipulate their relationship with God and say, oh, we're both Christian, or I prayed about this and we're supposed to get married or whatever. But if that person values their relationship with God, they're not going to use God to manipulate you. And I trusted Anthony's discernment far before I even was interested in him as a dating relationship. So I would say that, yeah, you kind of have to trust that person and get to know their relationship with God so that you can kind of lean on their discernment and decision making, and then just, I guess, be prayerful about the whole situation and include your children in the process.
Unless they're not old enough to talk, then that could probably be a problem.
Yeah. So it's a limitation.
Yeah. Well, for the sake of time, this is our first entry. I think you did a great job. I love you.
Love you too.
Way to go.
Thanks. You can kiss me if you want.
Okay, you can see it in my eyes. No, that's gonna be awkward. Okay. Well, thank you for tuning in. Let us know what you think. If this is on YouTube, subscribe to my channel because this is where it will be. You don't have a channel yet. We'll get you one.
That's okay.
You can give out like law information.
Yeah.
But that'd be great. But thank you. We'll see you soon.